Good, Anakin. Good. Kill him. Kill him now.
And then just...
Do it.
What? Welcome back, everybody, to another Happy Landing. Before we get into anything, let's just thank the patrons right off the bat, because I tend to forget sometimes. Thank you to Steve, Kimberly, and Karen. Go get some Movie Meals merch. Go check out all this great stuff we have on the channel. We got lots of really fun stuff. Lots of different reviews. So let's get into it. This will probably be a shorter episode. I know we say that. We tend to go long anyway, but there is not a whole lot to this season 6 of the Clone Wars. At one point, I actually thought about asking you if we should just merge 6 and 7, but I'd prefer to give this season its fair conversational piece to let it just dominate. But before we get into that, let's too quickly, why don't we talk about Bad Batch episode 2 and our thoughts on that? I didn't know it was going to drop. I thought they were going to stick with the Tuesday decision.
Right.
And I got to work early on Friday. Normally I get to work early anyway, but usually on Fridays I decide to sit down and I'll just pull up on my smart board like Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, something like that, or Bad Batch. And I decided just to check. I was like, I just don't... There's a disturbance in the Force right now. I feel like something's up. I'm just going to check. And it was aired. It was only a short episode. It was like 34 minutes or something like that. But what did you think of the second episode?
Honestly, I was taken aback by it too, because I was funny enough, I was scrolling on TikTok, and someone had like a little spoiler that popped up for it, of like someone talking about like, man, this episode's so wholesome, and I'm like, wait a second, I haven't seen any of this, and then I pulled it up, and I was like, oh, episode 2's out, yes, slapped that on, and had a grand old time watching this one, boy. There's some minor... I'll be frank, I have some minor issues with this one, but...
what are they?
I'm kind of back and forth. I have a lot of good to say about this episode, I'll say first off. But my criticism that I have for it was them doing the whole thing of like, oh, we need to get like the chain codes and then get people on to this particular shuttle, to which, I mean... I guess in my head I was like, well, why don't we just get everyone to hop on the ship, hyperspace to somewhere, drop them off real quick, and then we can just get them off. But I mean, they also talked about like, the Empire's hot on your tail right now, so if we're putting everyone in danger if we all decide to hop on your ship. But
yeah,
I don't know, a little odd, but dude, like, this episode was so wholesome. It reeks of Grogu and
yeah, it definitely does.
Oh man, Dave Filoni. Which one of my favorite things about Star Wars is George Lucas, and Dave Filoni very much also understands this, that Star Wars is about family. It's always been about family, not only in the storytelling, but the fact that you can bring all of the family around to sit down and watch this and have a good time. And that's one of the most incredible things about Star Wars that I genuinely love. And Dave Filoni, I feel as though just does it again in this episode. Anyways, I've been talking for too long. What were your thoughts on it?
I like the episode. I hope this whole Bad Batch story is not going to be kind of too similar to Mandalorian with that vibe. I don't really want the entire focus to be on Hunter and Omega. I kind of would like to have some of the other clones be a big member, not side pieces, which they don't feel like. I'm just a little nervous we're going to go in that direction. I don't think we will, because I trust Dave Filoni.
That's fair.
But overall, I really liked the episode. It was wholesome. I liked the Rex drop, being like, oh, Rex was just here, which makes me think that they will encounter him at one point. I liked the conversation. Just he said something about chips, and then Omega's like, oh, the inhibitor chips that's in everybody's brain. I really liked all that. I thought it was a good second episode. But when I got on Twitter that morning, it wasn't being talked about at all. Like, I barely found any. I didn't see, it wasn't on my trending. I looked it up, and it was some people talking about the new episode, but not a whole lot. And I hope that this Bad Batch show, I'm wondering if Disney thought this will take over the media control when Marvel's done, and maybe it just doesn't. Maybe they just risk too much on an animated kind of side-off show. But I still really liked the episode. I thought it was good. I'm curious to see where we're going now. I hope we do get. Right now, we don't have a through line. We're just on the run. Or really, we're just trying not to get caught. Not that they're necessarily out looking for them so much.
I feel like they're trying to find their footing more than anything.
Yeah, but I don't want. What is this supposed to be, like 16 episodes or something like that? Like I just don't want maybe 12. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't want the whole show to be planet hopping with no full through line. And it's funny because in Mandalorian, that was a big critique that people had the first 3 episodes. But I felt by that at that point it worked out. I thought we had gotten a through line, and that was just kind of a we just need to get away for a little bit and hope we can hide, and it didn't work out. But right now it feels like that I hope they bring the fight to them. Like I hope they go after the Empire. It'd be cool if they ran into some other characters we know of. Like it would be cool to see like an animated version of why can't I remember his name from Rogue One? He's getting his own show.
Saw Gerrera?
No, Cassian Andor.
Oh yes, yes.
If they ran into Cassian, I think that would be really interesting, especially because right now he is kind of he was a separatist. He grew up a separatist, so if they kind of ran into him, that'd be interesting as like a little tease.
He would be a bit young, but yeah, that'd be interesting.
I don't think he's super young at this point.
Well, I mean,
we're at episode 3. I guess he is older later, but I think the show is not going to take place too much farther away from this.
He would be close to being either a teenager or like around 10, I would say.
So I just think it'd be cool just to see him, even if it was a little moment. Like, he just says his name and walks away, Right. Rex, I think we're definitely going to get. I wonder if Rex is next episode and Rex gives them a mission. And Rex kind of becomes the commander of them, is kind of my thought. And then they go out on a mission. And our sniper boy is going to come after him. But, I liked the episode.
I guess, like, a few other details of this one that I was just so into was when they, what was it? I think they said the Rubar system or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember when they announced it in the first episode, I went and did a little bit of research and trying to look through what kind of Easter eggs we were getting to that, and it being the callback to going to the deserter clone that made their family. So I thought that was a fun callback of them going to the one clone that's just been like hiding out and doing his thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Bad Batch actually, I guess in my mind, I don't know, it feels like it makes sense that the Bad Batch would actually have a relationship with this guy, because they're so just, I don't know. I don't know. If on the flip side of that, it does kind of have the small galaxy feel thing, you know what I mean?
It does, yeah.
But man, I can't believe how much I adore Omega.
Yeah, I like her a lot too.
This is Omega, and she is my favorite thing. If anything were to happen to her, I would kill everyone in this room, and then myself.
I feel that. I understand where you're coming from.
She is, and there was also something, I don't know, it's like when she took off the, Kaminoan, little tassel on the top of her head, and then just, seeing, all the short blonde hair, and I was like, oh, she's just so cute, and I love it.
Yeah, I like her.
And also, I mean, the interesting juxtaposition that we're getting of, again, it is very Mando of, Hunter talking with the deserter, and he's like, she's not a soldier. She's a kid. You gotta treat her differently. And I don't know. I did like the interesting back and forth that we get with all that. I'm really excited to see where they're going to take her and what they're going to do. Also, not to mention, I mean, I don't know. It gets me thinking, because initially I was at the beginning of the series, I thought there's no way that any of these guys wind up living. They're all going to go out in some sort of blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And it almost makes me it's got me thinking that, I don't know, maybe Omega and Hunter just wind up on a planet somewhere in the Outer Rim, and then they just live out the rest of their days just doing their own thing. And
or maybe really just Omega.
Or just Omega, right.
Yeah. I I'm curious too. They had a little line in there about like every, or maybe it was in. I just started the Bad Batch episode of season 7 to prepare for next week, so I wonder if it might have been in there. But like they make a big point. I think it was season 7. They make a big point though in season 7 to say like, hey, all of these clones have a unique thing. And I
Right.
wonder if Omega has something else that's not just the fact that she's a girl. I don't think they just made a girl clone. I think they tried to do something else. And I think she's going to come. Like, I wonder if the big reveal to save the moment will be that she's either has like an ability or she. It'd be kind of
Boy,
crazy if she was force sensitive.
yeah, I was gonna bring that one up, and I'll be frank, I'm not gonna be crazy if they do make her force sensitive. Like, I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but
I'd be all right
it's
with it.
it's the same thing. But it's the same thing with Grogu that we've done.
Yeah, yeah,
Of
it's
like,
true, but
it's little baby Grogu. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, he's holding up a rhino.
maybe they
Okay,
find out she's a combination of all of them. Maybe that they gave her super strength, smarts, accuracy. Maybe it's all those.
she's
I'm
she's
interested
the
to
best
see.
of them, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. So, all right. Well, I think for Bad Batch, that's about it. So let's just, I guess, just talk about season 6 and then call her an early night
That
or
sounds good to
day.
me.
So
What is
season
time, anyways?
6 is only 13 episodes. I actually finished it last night.
Oh,
Um, but I really like this season. It is a bummer that it's so short. Uh, I really like the conspiracy with the clones at the start, where you start getting a lot of like what is going on with the chip and with Fives. The stuff with Padme is okay. I really don't care for Clovis. I don't find his character that interesting or fun at all. Um, I don't know. Is
that's
that just me?
That's well, no, I agree with you, but I did actually find that of all the Padme arcs that we've had, I actually liked this one the most.
Oh, really?
Yes, mostly because again, we start to see a little bit more of the political things that are happening. We see Palpatine is again maneuvering things behind scenes as he. It's a really big moment, I think, the arc illustrates two big things. One, another huge moment for Anakin and his character as we see him just
Where he
lay
thinks
into
she's cheating,
Clovis.
yeah.
Right. He lays into Clovis, and then Padme's like, "Whoa, we need to like back off from this for a hot minute." Um,
Step on the brakes.
right. Like, so he went and killed a bunch of people or sand people on Tatooine, but I mean that's okay. And he's had some really like rough and strange moments with Clovis, and oh my god, he just about beat this dude up. Okay, no. Now's the point where I'm gonna like pump the brakes on this one. Uh,
Yeah.
it does kind of bum me out that I mean by the end of it, she's like, Anakin, I was so wrong, but um, I think there's a lot of intrigue that's happening there with Palpatine gaining the banking clan, like having it under his heel in the Republic. That is a really cool illustration of just how we're in the
I
final
agree with you.
stages of like really getting these big pieces of
Yeah.
Palpatine gaining it under his control.
I agree with you. I just don't enjoy Clovis, and I wish they found a different way to make it all happen because I just
Mm.
don't enjoy Clovis or his character. Every time he's on screen, I get bored. I do like that moment with Anakin, but for the
It
most part, I can't stand it. He
to,
just drives me nuts.
It does make me curious in the third book that we're going to be getting for Padme. I think that they're going to discuss more of the quasi relationship that Clovis and Padme end up
Yeah,
having,
I
and
think so.
that makes me wonder if he'll be a little bit more of a redeeming character.
Yeah, and I didn't mind the mentions of him in the book because they mention him in the second book, right? They're talking about early loves. Isn't that the early love that she references? That she had a guy that she knew that had gone off.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure it's the same character.
well, I think that Clovis is only ever mentioned in the first one we read. Not Queen's Shadow.
Yeah.
Yes. was when they meet, when she joins the Senate, and then they meet Clovis, and Clovis has like she can tell that
Yeah.
Clovis has this
I'm
thing
pretty
for.
sure there's a conversation where they allude to Clovis though, where it's her and one of the handmaidens talking about like their past loves.
Oh,
And she mentions like a boy who ran off, that went to go be a senator or some or a
hmm.
high up somewhere. But
We also have one of Padme's handmaidens just get axed in this. I mean,
it's
unfortunately, it's off
true.
screen.
Never get the handmaidens. I love them.
I know.
So following that, we go to the disappeared part 1 and 2.
Ugh.
Didn't care for either of them. I
No.
really hate that Mace Windu he's really a tool for Jar Jar in these episodes, and it sucks because they could have done something cool with Mace Windu and they didn't.
Right.
I
agree.
Then we get into the Lost Ones. We get the reveal of who Darth Tyrannus is for the characters. That all works. I like that episode. Voices, Destiny, and Sacrifice. Fantastic. I absolutely love those 3 episodes.
Last 4 episodes, I think, are just great.
Yeah, last 4. I agree. I think if you're going to end this, and this is kind of all you're going to get from here on out, I think it works. I love the little tease to Lord of the Rings. I mean, the Dark Yoda is just, it's just Gollum and Smeagol, and
for sure.
It's
he
cool.
he accepts the dark side. Like he accepts it's a part of him, and he's not trying to separate it anymore. He accepts that it's part of him, and that he's going to just move along with it. I don't know. I guess it also speaks to like dealing with trauma or things of that nature as well. You for a long time in the beginning, you might be trying to separate it, but after a point in time, you gotta accept that it's there and just have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think too. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little like I like that he fights his inner self. I like that he does have to do some sort of training to get to this point, like Qui-Gon. But sometimes it's like this is all spiritual stuff that's going to happen after death, and it's a lot of physical fighting because there were trials that some of the trials are not just fighting your dark self. Some of the trials are like doing other things, and I just don't love it as much. I think that's why this wouldn't be like a top arc of the whole show, even though I do enjoy it, if that makes sense, because it's like, and I also like, when the heck did Qui-Gon go and do all this? Where's that novel?
Right.
But I do think it is good, and then the conversation with Bane is awesome, and I love the what are they? Are those the Wills? I can't remember. Are those supposed to be the Wills, or are those supposed to be something else? The kind of ladies.
I was meaning to look it up, but like I'm 70% sure they're the Wills.
I think so, and I like them that we've got like the kind of old school. It's like from Japanese, Chinese culture of like, all these high-powered beings where one is just pure happiness, one is pure sadness. It's it's the 7 deadly sins kind of thing.
Right.
And I like that play. I don't know. You got any other thoughts on these final 4 here?
I was enamored with the Darth Bane coming through.
The Darth Bane stuff.
And honestly, I think also another great moment that I love in that last arc was the oh man, when he's around the temple and he sees Qui-Gon Jinn, he sees no, Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah, I got that right. He sees Count Dooku, he sees all of these Jedi as like a happy moment, and he almost accepts it.
He falls for it almost.
But then he does have that moment of like, no, this isn't real.
Yeah.
You are dead and you have betrayed me.
And he does it with Bane, too, where he's like, I'm not afraid of you because you are no longer here. Yes, I know your history. You created the Rule of Two. You were this big, bad Sith, but you were dead now. And I like that.
There's a fun dynamic of, and we also actually see this in the novel that we're listening to, of masters still having something to learn. And
yes,
that's a very fun dynamic, and I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, they play on that too in The Last Jedi, when Yoda shows up and says, like, you're still doing the same thing, you still have a lot to learn. Right. Yeah, no, I like this, I like this little arc. I do wish, I want to know more about Qui-Gon's journey here. That has that never been touched on? That's not, I don't think it's in a novel or comic, but See, that to me, it's like, okay, because Qui-Gon's the first to ever do it, and he didn't finish, so he's only able to manifest his voice and help. And
Hmm.
Yoda would be the first to do it, but why was he chosen? Why was Qui-Gon chosen? Because he even says to Yoda, "You were chosen."
Well,
Um,
so I think it's alluded a couple of times, mostly like in extended canon, that he's a master. He's been asked to go on the council, but he has some really like out there views that the council don't
yeah,
really like of his.
and they touch on it a lot in the Master and Apprentice book that I've read, where
Right.
Obi-Wan and him have a few conversations about it because he's so brash. He's way too into prophecies,
Hmm.
things like that. And when they talk about when they kind of figure out that, you know, um, Sifo Dyas created an army but was on the other side. So right now they have two, like our enemy created us an army that it was Tyrannus all along. I like that whole figuring of everything out.
Hmm.
Um, I had a point to it that connected to what you're saying, and I just completely lost my train of thought.
Uh, it's all good. I get it. But yeah, I just they very much go into talking about how Qui-Gon Jinn is constantly searching and finding the mysteries of the Force. He's not the greatest swords master. He's constantly trying to uh just go throughout the galaxy and find out like what is happening here with the Force.
Yeah,
Where's it going? What kind of prophecies do we have? Um and I think it's a cool it's also a cool nod to be able to have him be the guy that has been studying this. And it makes sense
yeah.
that
No, it's cool.
yeah.
I
You
just
want
want to
more.
know.
Right.
I want to know.
Uh
I'm
I
greedy.
for some reason I remember being higher on season 6 than I was,
Same
but
here.
uh to be frank, it actually doesn't rank that high for me. Because I think it's got one good arc. uh, well, okay,
Yeah,
no, I like the conspiracy and like
it's good. It's just
inhibitor
not
chips.
elite.
Right.
It's just not elite compared to everything else.
It's not. Oh man, it's not It's not the Mandalorian arc. It's not the Ahsoka the Wrong
Yeah.
Jedi Ahsoka arc. It's not
Or
the Umbora.
Krell. Yeah,
Yep.
Umbora. That's what I was thinking. That is a great arc.
Love that arc.
It's not any of the mall stuff, and
Right.
it's not the end. It's not
Right.
the end of the show. Um, but I do enjoy it. I do like the mystic part. I like when we get mystical, and I love the designs. And I'm excited when we get to Rebels because they have the same similar design when Ezra goes into the kind of middle zone where there is no path, forward, backward. It's just there. Um,
Dude,
I'm excited for that.
I'm actually, ugh, gosh, it upsets me so much of like reading through this book. I think I've got like 4 or 5 hours left on the book,
I think I'm at
uh,
6.
and I'm having a great time listening to it. And like, just because it feels like it's going in interesting areas that that I didn't actually expect that this book to go.
Yeah.
With the relationship that's happening between Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Voss, and it just watching through all of these Clone Wars series, it kills me that we didn't get these episodes. Uh,
Yeah.
don't get me
Although
wrong.
they upped the maturity for the book for sure.
Oh boy, did
Oh
they
yeah.
up the maturity.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess yeah. Come to think about it, it's like they might have had to tone some of it back a bit in this one, just because you are kind of pushing the boundaries of like the tension that exists between the two, like the back and forth that you get. You're pushing the boundaries of that being like okay as like a kids show, but I don't know. We've touched on such heavy subjects in this as well that
Yeah.
it also feels like that's something that just wouldn't be out of place.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I agree. Is
it
there anything else
um
you want to touch on, or should we just make this the shortest show ever?
I think we can probably make it one of the shortest shows ever. Though I mean, oh man, weirdly enough, I continually rewatch these, but like the two of us going through this with a critical eye, overall, Clone Wars so far, I still really enjoy.
Same.
But as I kind of like look out through all of these episodes, I feel like there is just barely more bad episodes. Well, I mean, bad. I think there are just like less good episodes versus like top tier episodes. But man, when it is top tier, it's just, it's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the Clone Wars. It is a great show.
Yeah.
I am kind of excited to get going though, now that we're just about done with it, to finally get on to the movies for a little bit here. I mean, we do have Rebels, which will jump in pretty fast, but I'm just getting excited for some of those other conversations when we hit to the original trilogy or even the sequel trilogy.
Stoked. I am beyond stoked for Revenge of the Sith. I've been thinking about it more and more as we've been leading up to it, and I am so excited for that conversation.
Yeah, depending on how, when I finish season 7, I might just, depending on what time I've got, I might just pop in Revenge of the Sith right off the bat. Anyway, guys, that is it for us here on another Happy Landing. Thank you to the Movie Meal patrons. Make sure to go get some merch, like, subscribe, share. Short episode this week, but sometimes it's how it plays. So thank you guys all for watching, and for another Happy Landing, we are out of here.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.